I'm going to be talking about my experience with women as an entrepreneur at 18 years old, and over the last 3 years, what I've been doing and how I've really dealt with them. And the reality of it is when you're an entrepreneur like me, or someone who is hyper-focused on curating the best possible life for themselves, coupled with the idea that you shouldn't hang around women, especially, when you're an Andrew Tate meat writer during the early ages, that you shouldn't, be hanging around other people, and you should be super hyper focused on things. You lose out on several years of being a kid, I guess. And so that's what I've missed out on. There are plenty of instances in my life where I don't really I don't know what it's like to do stuff at 16, 17 years old or 15, right? Like some of these other kids have. Some of these people have just experienced life in a different way than me. When I was 16, 17, and even now, I've been super focused on just building my businesses, my life, curating it to be exactly what I want. And over the last 6 months, my life has completely transformed, especially with the idea of what I really want to do. I've realized that you shouldn't just focus on making money. And that's what I used to do. I used to only focus on that. And when you do that, you lose out on so much other things in this life. Because life is beautiful and money is great too, but you shouldn't just hyper focus on it. In my experience throughout the last 2 years of high school and the last-ish year of my sophomore year, I wasn't really hanging around much women. I wasn't getting very many women. And that also has to do with me not being very attractive. I've made a previous video on this. I'll link it right here. But I basically transformed my looks completely. I used to have really, really bad acne. I used to be super insecure about my face. Of course, when your face looks like that, you're never going to be very confident. And I tried my best to do what I could at the time, but I didn't know any better than the stuff or the Accutane stuff that I did. Like, that's what I did, and that's what helped me is Accutane. And when you're on this medication, and when you're going through severe dryness and you have very low levels of confidence, it's super hard to actually get what you want when it comes to women. Because look, let's be honest with ourselves, women are definitely attracted to looks. Of course, it's not everything, but it's a huge role. And look, to just give you the honest truth about when everything completely changed for me, it was when I stopped trying to be the nonchalant guy. Back in the day, I was convinced that you should be the quiet, sophisticated man in the corner with the cup like this, or like whatever it is, right? You should just hyper focus on being the nonchalant guy. That was huge. It was a trend. I'm sure you've seen it, and I'm sure you saw it back in the day. Like, that's what we all were convinced was the move, was to be the nonchalant guy, you'll get more women. But at the end of the day, that is the least true thing I've basically ever heard. And ever since I started being more chalant, more outgoing, more social, and once I, of course, looked better, I changed my skin, I got my hair looking nice, everything changed. I started to get many more women. Now, I'm not saying I get like a ton of women, but I don't do too bad. Like I hang around plenty of women. It's great, and women are great, and it's a huge, I guess, reflection tool that you can use as a man. Because if you're a man, women inherently will be attracted to you if you're a man worth being attracted to. I know it sounds cliche, but it's so true. Like, if you aren't carrying the characteristics of a man who a woman would want to be with, specifically a woman that is fit for you, you're obviously doing something wrong. They're used as a great mirror. And so when I first realized this around a little over a year ago, when I was just in the early stages of Accutane, I realized okay, something has to change. I'm clearly not getting the women that I want, or basically any at all. So I need to definitely change something about me. I'm obviously my physique was solid. I've never really had a bad physique over the last 4 or 5 years. I used to be kind of chubby back in the day in 7th grade, but that was just, a 6-month thing. But, I've always had a pretty solid physique. I'm decently tall. I'm just under 6'1". But it was a combination of me being super insecure, low confidence, of course, having really bad acne, a hairstyle that wasn't fit for my face shape. And just to tell you the truth, women can absolutely smell insecurity. If you walk around and you look insecure, women can definitely notice that. It is a huge thing and huge issue that I've seen with a lot of people. And of course, nowadays, I've changed my life completely. I have much more confidence. And like I said, everything's changed. Once I started realizing that you need to be the man that women want, and you need to have the confidence that will attract the women that you want, you will get exactly what you want. And no, I do not have the woman of my dreams yet, but that will happen. I'm building the man I want to be. And so to sum this all up, the clear and perfect example of what actually changed for me is, number one, of course, taking my looks more seriously. I fixed my skin, I fixed my hair, everything got better when I did that. coupled with me having more confidence and realizing that nonchalant is the worst thing you could do. It's the worst personality you could basically have. That was what changed it all for me. And if I had to give a number one pick besides my looks as if to what changed it the most, it would definitely be adapting the chalant personality, being more outgoing, saying funny, out-of-pocket shit, just doing basically whatever you want, saying whatever's on your mind. And this will just attract so much more women. Women like, I'm being serious when I say this, a man with a bit of zest, someone who can kind of be a little feminine at times, or like, I guess, girly at times. And I know this might sound gay, it's not, because they like having like almost that, I guess, idea of a man who's can be zesty at times, but also super masculine when it's not the time to be zesty. And that's exactly what women want. And a perfect example of this is this one couple that I know on TikTok. I've been following them for a while. I will pop up a few of their videos here.
What are some... Ooh, girl! I smell yesterday's garbage in you. What is that, pizza and pepperoni?
Yeah.
With a little combination of sushi?
And as you can see, this guy is a pretty good looking guy, and his personality is super goofy. Like, he's just kind of that zesty, goofy guy, and he pulled a super beautiful woman. And if you had to answer exactly why he did that, I can guarantee you it's because of his personality coupled with his looks, of course. But having that bubbly, like, outgoing personality is arguably one of the best traits you could possibly have. And of course, I'm working on it. Naturally, I am a bit of an introvert, and it's kind of funny because back in the day, I used to be an extrovert, but I don't know. I think the whole entrepreneurship, Andrew Tate meat writing thing completely shifted my brain and my mindset and my personality, because I went from being a super extrovert to an introvert, and now I'm transitioning into a bit of an extrovert now. I'm just trying to be as outgoing as I possibly can, and everything's changed for me since I started doing that. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Let's get it.